Welcome to Redvee TV's Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2021 season, as we reflect on St Helens' 6-2 loss to the Warrington Wolves this evening at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Kevin, pick the bones out of that one.
Where do you want me to start?
Probably at the first half.
All right, we'll start with the first half. We started slow. We didn't get going. I mean, you can pick a whole host of things. I don't think Warrington were actually that good. I think with all the kind of territory and possession they had, I would be disappointed that I didn't go in 18 points to 2 up. But we showed nothing. We showed absolutely nothing. We were forced, and this is where Warrington dominated us. We were forced into taking tackles on, like, from our own line, runs out from our own line. There was no kind of oomph from the forward pack. We've got the three backs taking the first 3 tackles in, and then your last tackle kick, it looks like it's all a bit of a hodgepodge. You're just trying to punt it from deep, which means Warrington can keep coming back at you. And I think all game, our last tackle play just seemed to be completely off. I don't know what was going on with it. We get into the second half, we start getting Lomax on the ball, and we start looking a lot better. And there's no secret potion there. It's just the fact that we started playing with a little bit more kind of freedom. I just thought it was the first half was one of the worst performances I've seen from a Saints team since before Holbrook came.
I was going to say since Castaway last season.
Castaway.
Did Warrington come with a game plan? Obviously, complete sets, kick long, quick off the defensive line, and stifle us. And it seemed to me that it didn't give us any opportunity to get the ball moving at all in the first half. And as you say, the backs taking the first 3 carries, Warrington won that battle very, very early on, and we didn't adjust to it till half time. And I actually thought early second half, first 20 minutes, we were well on top, but didn't get any points on the board to show for it.
Yeah, they did. They came with a plan. But that's where they were good, and that's where, when I turned around and said I don't think Warrington were that good, that's where they were good. They obviously, in the second half, they started getting sets from, and I hate saying this about us, but us just not being honest. How can you not play the ball properly in your opponent's halfway through your tackle count with 15 minutes left? How do you make these little silly errors that lead to you losing ball in good position? And yeah, Warrington came with a game plan like they did at Wembley a couple of years ago. They came with a game plan. They got the noses in front. A bad read on that right-hand side. Got the noses in front, and then just kind of almost managed the game. I do think we had chances to win it in the second half, but I think we scored a try in that second half and end up winning 8-6, and we're potentially papering over the cracks of what was an absolutely rubbish first half.
Yeah, you look at it. The chances we seem to have in the second half was when the ball went loose, and it was off the cuff rugby, and that's when we seem to do better. That said, could we be playing till Christmas and still not score tonight?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, if it was Christmas, definitely not tonight.
Yeah, listen. That's it. We were making opportunities and we were getting down on their own line. Something that we have spoken about before coming on. Remember a couple of weeks ago against Hull? I'm sure you're not going to forget it. Theo Farge picks the ball up after Griffin drops it because he's done his Achilles, goes in and scores. There's the team tonight that means that you can't just stop the play when someone goes down saying they're injured. Something that you said to me on the way over, which I completely agree with. Toby King limps 20 metres back into the line and kills any kind of forward momentum we've got. It's gamesmanship. It's not against the rules. And listen, that's probably one of the ways that Warrington managed the game. But I tell you what, their physios and club doctors must be miracle workers, because there's a lot of them carrying little knocks and injuries that force the game to be held up for minutes at a time. And it's a shame, because Warrington have got, this is like a backhanded compliment, Warrington have got the players to not need to do that. And if that's the way that they find to nullify us, well, they didn't need it tonight, because we nullified ourselves in that first half.
Unfortunately, it's like the boy who cried wolves. Wolf. it's cynical. And it seemed anytime we were looking like we might get a bit of a roll on, somebody goes down. And listen, if players are injured and they need attention, that's how it is. But not one of those players, I think, have to leave the field. And I say that one at the end, Toby King gets injured, but he's that injured he can stagger back 20 metres before needing the attention. Well, what happens to if it's not a head injury and it's not in the line of play you play on? And the referee needs to manage that better.
It's just, as I say, it's just disappointing because Warrington don't need to do it, and that's why it's a backhanded compliment. They've got the players; they don't need to start doing stuff like that. They've got players who can take the ball forward. They've got experienced heads. They've got Gareth Widdop. They've got Chris Hill. They've got Stefan Ratchford. They've got Darryl Clark. They don't need to start throwing stuff like that into the game.
Is it really? It's creeping in though, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, and this is where the old shout of, "Oh, we're not like football." This season, we've seen it. We've seen Toby King himself ask for a card the other week against Castleford. We've seen Aidan Caesar diving. We've seen Lee Gaskell diving. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see it coming in, and that's it. Listen, when Saints players do it, if it does creep in that much that Saints players start doing it, I'll call them out for it as well, because you don't want to see it. Yeah, it's a dark arts part of the game where it's gamesmanship. It's not the reason we've lost tonight.
Oh, absolutely not. But
no.
This is just a side from the It's ruining the spectacle. And do you know when we've talked about the 6 again rule being absolutely abysmal and should go? Again, Saints first 6 again was with 10 seconds to go in the first half when Saints are on their own 40. You're probably not going to do anything with it. But Warrington just decided to hold the man down and give away a 6 again with 2 seconds. And you get a 6 again with 2 seconds left. Why is the referee at that point not giving that as a penalty so you kick it 20, 30 metres downfield and you set up a last play? And the refs, for me, are not applying that rule properly and not giving the advantage to the attacking team.
The problem is they probably are playing it properly. It probably is the case of you just, that's how it is.
But the referees can give that as a penalty.
They could do, but it's probably more of a consistent thing to not turn around and go, right, well, I'm going to penalise that first one, the first one that you've done or that he thinks you've done. So, in my opinion, yeah, it's cynical, but you've just got to change that as part of the whole rule, not just because it's also with 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Surely referees need a better awareness of the situation.
I think the rule needs to be written better. I don't think it's down. I think the referees are applying the rule. The rule needs to be written better.
Wolves' defensive line in the first half, very quick, kept us narrow, stopped us spreading the ball, and because we weren't able to spread the ball wide, and the Wolves forwards on top, that for me just killed us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. We showed no kind of spark. There was nothing kind of different there. We spoke about having the plan A and not deviating from the plan A. It even seemed like that wasn't part of it. We were a little bit turgid. We were just carting it in. And then when you bring the likes of Iggy Parsi on and it does lift the crowd, you're asking him to run onto a ball that's literally given as far away as I am to you, and he's got a yard or two before he hits the defender. That's not what Iggy Parsi's good at. Iggy Parsi needs the run up, and he needs the space then to try and get his hands free and start giving the offloads which make him destructive. It was just a bad night all round. I hate bagging him because we're double champions. But when a performance, I think that heightens everything. That when a performance like that, where you think we're playing within ourselves in that first half, it's just disappointing. You just get disappointed with it.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I thought our performance was abysmal. I thought the game was dismal. Because let's be honest, we've been beaten 6-2. Let's talk about the defensive efforts because that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've conceded one try. Unfortunately, the attacks let us down.
Well, yeah.
And listen, their try, yes, it was a good play from Widdop setting line and way down the wing, and it was a good try. But aside from that, Warrington didn't look like scoring all night.
Yeah, and it's fair to turn around and say that defensively we were good. It was a bad read on that right hand side that give Lynham the room to get down there, and then they just come back inside when they've got the numbers. It's a good play, and if Saints had done it, you'd be saying, "Oh, it's brilliant again." Farge or Lomax has given the ball out, and Makins has broken all
You kick all those penalties in the second half, and we win. But yeah,
that's it. But defensively, again, we were good. It's just when you make as many mistakes as we have tonight, and I'd almost like to see missed tackles from that first half as well. You miss as many tackles, you drop as much ball, you don't kind of try something different. You don't deserve to win the game, and that's where I think we were tonight. I think, as I say, I think if we score late on, kick the goal, win 8-6, it papers over what was a turgid first half.
I think it says a lot about the game when you felt from the start of the second half, if whoever does score next would have won the game. If we'd have scored the first try in the second half, the only try in the second half, we obviously would have won the game. But it wasn't. I was going to say it was a game for the purists, but that was a game for no one. I actually came away from that tonight thinking this game is terrible at times.
It's like every sport.
Yes, it does.
Duff games. Every sport does.
But if anybody ever watches a football match and starts saying about, oh, rugby league's a million times better than that, if you'd have put a football fan in front of that tonight, they'd have put Holland back on.
That's the type of game that if we win the grand final this year, you forget about.
I forgot about that now. We'll never mention this again.
You are right though that listen, if we'd have scored in that second half when we did improve, but last tackle we didn't. I still don't think. Well, listen, last tackle mustn't have improved because we didn't score. But we were better going forward. We did look like we were trying to throw it out. We brought Lomax more into the game because
there was far more energy.
More energy, more. I'm not even going to say more effort. I think that's unfair on the players. But there was more energy. Yeah, you're right. More creativity, more thought going into it. I'm just disappointed, Dave. I'm just disappointed that first half was served up because it was a poor first half. I'm not going to get away from it. I'm not going to take anybody turning around and saying that first half was anywhere near acceptable for a team who were champions.
Yeah, and you probably have to say if you didn't get a ticket for tonight, you won the ballot.
But listen, that's it. You have a look at when you play the likes of Wigan, who's coming up. When you're talking about balloted games, you've got to do something different against the likes of them because they are usually a forward-dominated team. Will start pinning you back and let their backs start working at it. We need to start doing something more like that, or start thinking. I'm not going to start turning into Steve-O and say little chip over the top every 10 minutes. Although I am getting his hairline.
He's got more than you.
He probably has now.
But yeah, do we need to come up with that?
Plan B. I do think that...
For me, do you need a different plan A for these type of games? Because we seem to get done by same teams in the same way.
No, I don't necessarily think you do. But I think that if you do have a plan B, you've not got to go to your plan B, which is start trying to be the Harlem Globetrotters with 20 minutes left. You've just got to... And I don't know what it is. That's it. I'm not a professional rugby coach. I'm just here giving my opinion on a game that people will see completely differently to me. They'll see it differently to you. We see bits completely differently to each other. But I just think that sometimes we bring Lewis Dodd on and he speeds up the kind of the ruck, or he's meant to speed up the ruck. And you just think maybe you could slot him into the halves. Maybe you could try something different. Maybe you could just shuffle the pack a little bit. And see what somebody's bringing, because if it's not working for you and it continues not to work for you and I suppose the argument would be we improved in that second half, but if it's continuing not to work for you, it's the definition of madness to keep trying the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results.
That was a line that was used in the Cunningham era.
But that's it. Well, tonight you just think we did start, I think, trying to change it about a little bit. But not enough, and probably not early enough. And I'm not saying, listen, throw it out and we need to start scoring wide to west tries or anything like that, but just a little bit. I don't know. I'm just disappointed after that. And
deflating.
Yeah, it is. It is, because we're so much better than that. But why don't we play the rugby to show we're better than that?
Come on, boys. But yeah, it's just...
I tell you what, Kev Cunningham, who sometimes does these with us, he always whinges about his running career because he likes listening to us as he does his runs.
We're
He'll be sprinting like Usain Bolt, because I'll probably be winding him up saying we're rubbish. Not that he disagrees, but he'll probably be going, yeah, we were, and he'll be running quicker than anyone.
Well, he did come up with a corker tonight at half time.
Well, yeah, God bless him. He said games like that aren't won in the first half. Unfortunately, it was. Unfortunately, but the brass tacks of it are that first half performance has cost us, because we couldn't change it in the second half.
On the plus side, we only need to work on one element of the game, and that's the attack.
Yeah.
We've always said, listen, if we only concede 6 points, how many times are you going to concede 6 points in a game and lose?
The game. Yeah, that's it. There are little positives that we take from this, and probably when we speak next week and we do the preview show, and we're not doing this instantly with all the emotion of the game.
Who are we playing next week?
Okay.
Well, we will make. On the plus side, we will make changes. Maybe the performance tonight was so they don't get picked next week for anybody else.
What, they've got to play for Saints?
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen Tony Smith said that the game should be cancelled. I can't disagree with him. It won't be, but I can't disagree with him. At the current time, with the all the problems that clubs are having with COVID, just not even looking at the bigger picture. Look at Leeds getting positive tests. Look at Huddersfield.
When you say games should be cancelled, should it be the club game that gets cancelled, or the international that we'll see an awful lot of different bubbles mixing?
It should be the international game that gets cancelled. It won't be, and I'd feel sorry for
Is that what Tony Smith said? Sorry,
yes, yeah. I mean, it's madness that I think the club. It was all down to the clubs that were playing this weekend, anyway, or next weekend when the international's on. I can't disagree with him, because, as you say, you're starting mixing bubbles. If you just have one person who's got it and asymptomatic, all of a sudden you're struggling. That you get three players back. Yeah, I starts losing players again and again and again. Listen, I feel sorry for the likes of Mossy, who's got getting donations off the shirt that's being sold for the other nationalities, or the All Stars, or whatever they're called. But I just feel like even the World Cup needs to be in question. Does it happen? I don't think a lot of the NRL players want to come over here. So you've got.
I'm not entirely sure they'll be allowed at this moment.
Yeah, well,
that's quarantine. Yeah.
This is the issue. But listen, the lads might not get the opportunity to go out and write that first half until, what would it be, the Cas game. So I'm sure they'll be burning for it, and I'm sure that they'll know that first half was flat. It was turgid. It was dull. It just wasn't up to the standard, was it?
That's how Kev's finished his run.
I told you he'd be running dead quick now, because I'm just ranting.
Yeah, there you go. The end of a disappointing evening. We usually have plenty of views when we lose. There'll be all the Warrington fans commenting. Warrington fan commented on our preview video and said, "Can we play you every week?" Unfortunately, you can't, because you're not coming to Wembley.
You know what? In the preview video, I said that Warrington either turn up like a team of individuals who've just met each other in the car park, or they can play really, really well. And I don't think they needed to be either tonight. I think
they turned up like a load of individuals who've met in a car park when somebody's lying on the floor because they fell over on the ice and they just want to have a.
We'll not let that go.
They want to have a 10-minute rest. Oh, there we go. Right, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Watch the footy. It can't be as bad as that. Catch you soon.